What is your best urban survival tip? Keep your $600 phone in your pocket when walking around strange places. Use a wristwatch so you're not taking out your phone to check the time. Edit. This method is meant to prevent pickpockets and low-life thieves from knowing which pocket your phone is in, so it's harder for them to steal from you. It's also less time that your phone is out of your pocket. And regardless of price, it's much harder to steal a wristwatch than a smartphone. One is secured to your wrist and doesn't make as much movement to check the time. I have a really nice wristwatch. So I carry a shitty phone to look at instead of my watch, and then I wear another shitty watch on my other wrist to look at instead of my other, much nicer phone. This plan doesn't seem inconvenient at all. You only asked for one, but hey, I have little else to do. Keep a PDF of mass transit maps stored locally on your phone. Remember that eye contact with beggars is an invitation to them. Get an umbrella with wind vents. When it rains you should make sure to have shoes that handle walking on wet marble well. I am looking at you. Civic Center Station, San Francisco. Grand Central Station in New York City had this issue too. There's a special kind of back pain that comes from that little slip step when you go from wet concrete to wet marble. If you are not familiar with them, galoshes are amazing and will preserve your nice shoes. If you are a lady, wear sneakers and carry your nice heels while commuting. Not only will you not break the heels of your shoes on any number of imperfect urban surfaces, you also won't irritate everyone behind you on an escalator. If you enjoy going to bars and closing them out, make sure to check the mass transit closing times in your region. I have a lot of friends who have to ditch the bar and scramble at little after midnight. Always aim to take the second to last train before a line shuts down. Puts a little cushion between you and an expensive cab ride or a terrible night's sleep on a bench. When in doubt, pair your wine and cheese by region. Doesn't always work, but it's a nice rule of thumb. Cab drivers are amazing fonts of info about neighborhoods. I always ask them questions like, if you could live anywhere in the city, where would you? They often know about up and coming places. Also, if you are in a strange town and want to have some fun, they will usually be able to help guide you. Better than a concierge at a hotel too. When in a strange neighborhood, take notice of the conditions of the cars parked on the street. That should give you a notion of the economic status of a neighborhood. Many supermarkets have a no-hassle policy towards shoplifters. Bricks of cheese and bags of lentils will fit in the pocket of a large coat fairly well. Also, make sure to purchase something on your way out. You are less suspicious if you are waiting patiently in line to make your purchase. Don't steal expensive things like wine. Just go for a couple small pocket items at first to get a sense of a chain's security policy. When purchasing street drugs, have a target price and put that money in one pocket. Then have a little extra money in another pocket in case you need throw in more. Nothing worse than the small talk with a street dealer while you try to clandestinely count out money in front of them. Ask a streetwalker how much they would be willing to go bareback for. If they name any amount of money, then you should likely keep moving, unless they are clearly displaying signs of the same STD that you carry. Do not drain a corpse's blood anywhere inside your own home. Public libraries usually have free Wi-Fi. Act like you belong there and have been doing it your whole life. In a similar thread once, someone mentioned that they always take a snack with them to munch on if they're walking around a nasty area. Chewing on something somehow seemed to give off a casual, I belong here vibe. It reminded me of George Costanza and his apple chewing while on the phone. You see gum on the street, leave it there. It's not free candy. There are, like, 30 Ray's pizzas. They all claim to be the original, but the real one is on 11th. If you see a sign that says, Peep Show, that doesn't mean that they're letting you look at presents before Christmas. Always have somewhere to be, and act like it. People who meander are the ones who get harassed and or mugged. If every other store you pass is a check cashing store or liquor store, you may want to leave that neighborhood. Dress like you have no money to beat out of you. One time I was sitting at a park with about 4 other people sitting within 100 feet of me. A homeless lady starts going up to the other ones asking them for money. She then starts walking towards me, takes a look and just walks away. I'm still not sure if I should have been insulted. If you're riding the train, don't make eye contact with the crazy person. If no one is looking at you, you are the crazy person. I call it my city face. Sunglasses where you can't see my eyeballs. Earbuds that may or may not have music playing in them. Deadpan expression while walking with purpose. No one will bother you for anything. That's because your donk is hanging out between your zipper. If a tourist, don't openly stand gawking at a map on a street corner, especially in a city with questionable crime rates. If you have to do it, go into a shop or somewhere else a little more discreet. Another similar thread had a woman who said she avoided being verbally harassed by stoop people by saying, "I got shit to do." Apparently, they respected that she was busy and didn't have time for their shit. I have avoided 2 muggings with this tactic. In one case the guy had a knife out. I yelled, "Not right now," and jogged past. Before people jump on this as a bad strategy, this wasn't a thing I planned to do. It was instinctual. I was delivering pizzas once in a sketchy part of town. As I walked down a stoop that was a bit crowded with people, a big guy got up and said, "Give me all your money." I replied, with a puzzled look, "But then I wouldn't have any money." He looked really confused for a minute as I walked past him and drove off. Then there was a time when I delivered a pizza to the back table of a bar, and the guy threatened me with a knife and said, "Leave it." I put the pizza down on the table, walked to the front of the bar, and called the police. When they got there, 10 or 15 minutes later, this criminal genius and his friends were still sitting there eating pizza. On the escalator, stand right, walk left. You will survive when I don't run you over trying to catch my train. Edit. Some countries stand left, walk right. Do as the locals do. Also, Japan apparently is awesome at this. If you're white, adopt a Russian accent. Russians are the scariest white people. If you see a sign that says, "Beware of pickpockets," do not instinctively pat the pocket with your wallet. Usually the sign is out there by the pickpockets to see where your wallet is. Keep your eyes and ears open. Have situational awareness. Keep your mouth shut. In a large city, chances are you will run into someone who is either crazy and/or high. Do you really want to endanger yourself by arguing with them? Don't travel alone at night in areas you are unfamiliar with. Don't walk around like you have a lot of money. Walk with a sense of purpose even if lost. If driving, keep your doors locked and don't leave your windows rolled all the way down. When parked, make sure you don't have anything of value that can be seen from the outside. Even something like $1 or coins could tempt someone to break window. Subways and buses are cheap ways to move around. You can usually find decent and cheap food in more ethnic areas. Just have to know where to look. Trust no one. Don't look like a victim. Don't be nice, but be respectful. Don't give money to anybody, and you don't owe anyone who asks an explanation, or even a second of your time. What's with everyone in this thread saying to avoid pavement gum? I've been living in Chicago for 15 years, and I have to say the pavement gum here is among the finest in the country. Never use ATMs. They record the serial number on the bills they give you and send it to the government, who then figures out what store deposits the bills and knows where you shop. Holiday Inns are sentient beings, tied in a large collective mind, with their own agenda. The people working there are just pawns. People sleeping there are warped in subtle ways, and sometimes just disappear. Try somewhere else if you need somewhere to stay the night. The ice cream guy at the corner of 9th and Liberty keeps a talking human head at the bottom of his cart. For a silver dollar you can ask it a question. It knows who wants to kill you, and why. If charities try to give you candy, don't take it because it is a tactic for them to make you donate more than the candy is worth. It happens a lot on Toronto, and probably other cities more so. Walk rapidly and with a purpose. With your head up, chest out and shoulders back like you know where you are, where you're going, and that you know 100 ways to kill the people around you in hand-to-hand combat. Less people will hassle you to sign petitions, or for spare change. It also may help prevent you from getting mugged. Source: Native Chicagoan. In Brazil or Mexico, hook the pin from a fragmentation grenade to your belt buckle with a metal wire, and keep the grenade secured and pinned inside your purse. When a purse snatcher rides by on a scooter and grabs your purse and rides away, You will witness something really entertaining in 4 seconds. If you pay for a single newspaper, you can take all of the newspapers and sell them for drug money. Also, get a syringe from the pharmacy and fill it with blood. If somebody tries to attack you, wave it around and say it's full of AIDS blood. If you live somewhere with guns, it won't work. But anywhere else, even the most cocky martial arts guy won't duck with it. Buy lots of non-perishable food and bottled water, so if your city experiences long periods of power outage and or natural disasters, you'll be prepared. Edit. Water. Travel with a squad. Squads save lives when walking somewhere at night. Edit. Either all of you are familiar with slang and have a sense of humor, or got the wrong idea. Also, make sure you have a full squad. You need at least 1 medic, 1 engineer, 1 recon, and 1 support. Put a bus ticket, or a few, in your phone case. You'll forget about them until you desperately need to use them, because your dumbass forgot to renew your bus pass. This kind of thing is a good idea, but doesn't work for dumbasses like me. If I have forgotten about it after stashing it in there, it will stay forgotten, and I'll end up walking across the whole city before angrily remembering my hidden bus ticket. And during that walk, you'll be mugged, stared at, police will offer you a soda, you'll pick up a piece of chewing gum from the floor, and be attacked by a bear. Watch out for people with umbrellas. I can't tell you how many times I've had my eyes poked by some twit not paying attention to who is around them. Looks like everybody in this thread is living in some really shady places. Avoid muggers. Carry weapons. Always be on the lookout. Damn guys, where are you all living? Edit. To clarify, I am from Brussels, and most of the tips here are borderline paranoid if you apply them for Brussels, if not illegal. For example, carrying a knife or a firearm. I haven't been to America yet, so I cannot testify for it, but at least in most cities in Belgium and France, what everyone described in this thread is science fiction to me. I don't live in a bourgeois area, and I have been threatened/robbed in the streets once. I still feel safe nonetheless, and smile at and greet people I encounter in the city. If you decide to have a cigarette, wait until you're alone to get one out. Otherwise, if you pull that pack out and the hood rats see you, they will make you share,